Hello, hello, Zenkaikon, how are ya? Welcome to the voice actor panel. How are you guys doing today? It's a gorgeous, rainy Saturday morning here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. My name is Brandon, aka One Up Till Sunup. Yeah. That's all my social medias. It's just One Up Till Sunup. You'll find me there. Joining me today, I have the honor and privilege to be working with these Fab Four. If you guys all give them a round of applause. Would you guys like me to introduce you, or did you want to introduce yourselves?
I am Zeno Robinson.
Thank you.
I am Zeno Robinson.
I am Robbie Damon.
I'm Ray Chase.
We're missing Max.
We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be doing some script readings. Our first script reading is going to be from Spider-Man No Way Home. Then we'll have some quotes from The Batman. Following that, we'll have some readings from The House of Dragons. We're going to have a Q&A session involving you lovely folks. And then we will be having one last script reading from The Lord of the Rings. And finally, we're going to close out the show today with a nice sing-along. And we're pretty sure you know this song.
That was a hint.
Maybe they can't see my Pokemon shirt. Maybe they can't see my ghost types. Because they're ghost types and they can't be seen. Anyway, you guys ready?
Let's get it.
Now, are you going to introduce like who we're doing?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I have moderator lines.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Moderator lines. Okay.
My name is actually John Swasey, and thank you. And you know me from such roles as Gendo from Evangelion, All for One from My Hero Academia, Lord Death from Soul Eater, Undertaker from Black Butler, Hohenheim from Full Metal Alchemist, Crocodile from One Piece, and a whole bunch more. Thank you.
See, I always have to go after you and remember things. My name's Nika Futterman, and let's see. Oh, thank you for that. I guess things you might know. I play Asajj Ventress in the Clone Wars, and let's see some of the characters I'm going to be playing here. Olga Pataki, back in the day. Hey, Arnold. Who else? Luna Loud in the Loud House, and who else am I? Well, I'm not playing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sticks the Badger in Sonic Boom,
and other stuff. Hello.
Hi. I'm still not Zeno Robinson, but if I were Zeno Robinson, you would know me from such projects as Hawks in My Hero Academia, Hunter from the Owl House, Go in Pokemon, which is over. It just ended. I know. Goodbye, Ash. And yeah. He had a good run. Gamma 2, yeah, and Dragon Ball, superhero, and like many more. Boy 1A and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I thought that was mine. They recast me?
So sorry that you had to find out this way.
Yeah, I'm Emi Lo. You might know me for roles like Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners, Suma from Demon Slayer, Columbina from Genshin Impact, Sawatari from Chainsaw Man. I'm trying to remember other stuff. What am I doing here?
Young Hawks from.
Oh yeah, I'm young Zeno Robinson, so I actually am Zeno Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah. And I guess on Muty from Buddy Daddies, if you're watching that right now. Yeah. And some other stuff. Yeah.
All right, folks. We're going to begin scene 1. And this is the three Peters. Peter 1, Tom Holland Peter, will be played as John as Gendo from Evangelion. Peter 2, the Tobey Maguire Peter, played by Emi as Ushio from Summertime Rendering. And Peter 3, Andrew Garfield, played by Zeno as Hawks from My Hero Academia.
First of all, I'd like to just say I'm sorry y'all are playing the crappier Spider-Man.
It's okay.
Go, Tom Holland!
Everyone knows Andrew Garfield's the real Spider-Man.
I mean, I like Tom Holland, so.
Peter stands amidst scaffolding and plastic sheeting. The camera zooms out to reveal he's on top of the Statue of Liberty! Mid-renovation, construction scaffolding engulfs the statue. Its oxidized copper now restored to a golden luster. The iconic torch concealed by a gigantic Captain America shield. The calm before battle. The three Peters hang around on the scaffolding.
Hey, what are, like, some of the craziest villains that you guys have fought?
Seems like you met some of them.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I fought an alien made out of black goo once.
I'm on my way. No, oh crap. Sorry. Oh, no way. I fought an alien too. On Earth and in space.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was purple.
What? I want to fight an alien.
I'm still like that you fought an alien in space.
I'm lame. I fought a Russian guy in a rhinoceros machine.
Can we rewind it back to the I'm lame part? Because you are not.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm not saying I'm lame.
But it's just the self-talk. Maybe we should...
Yeah, listen,
Because you're amazing. Just take it in a minute.
Yeah. I can take it in.
You are amazing.
I can take it in.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
Will you say it?
No, I kind of needed to hear that. Thank you.
And see.
And scene. Scene 2. Doctor Strange, played by Zeno as Hunter from Owl House.
Magic, because the magic stuff.
Peter 1, played by John as Gendo from Evangelion. There's snow everywhere. Inside the Sanctum Sanctorum, covering the floor and the stairway. 2 apprentices futilely shovel snow into small buckets. Peter enters, crunching through the snow, shivering. A blast of cold air reveals Doctor Strange in a parka, floating down the stairway with a mug of hot cocoa. Peter follows Doctor Strange inside. Doctor Strange is in casual clothing, the cloak of levitation over sweatpants, sweatshirt, and a winter coat. Doctor Strange casually lights a fireplace with a wave of his hand.
So, Peter, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Right. I'm really sorry to bother you, sir, but...
Please, we saved half the universe together. I think you're beyond calling me sir, plus you kind of sound older than I do, so there's that.
Okay, Steven.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
When Mysterio revealed my identity, my entire world got screwed up, and I was wondering, I mean, I don't even know if this would actually work, but I was wondering if maybe you could go back in time and make it so that he never did?
Peter, we tampered with the stability of space-time to resurrect countless lives. You want to do it again now just because yours got messy?
Yes.
And scene.
Yes. Was that not clean?
So in our next scene, we're going to have some lines from The Batman, featuring everybody's favorite Batman, the Batman. And it's going to be John doing these as All for One.
I'm excited.
Our scars can destroy us, even after the physical wounds have healed. But if we survive them, they can transform us. They can give us the power to endure and the strength to fight. Fear is a tool. When that light hits the sky, it's not just a call, it's a warning for them. I'm starting to see now. I have had an effect here, but not the one I intended. Vengeance won't change the past, mine or anyone else's. I have to become more. People need hope, to know someone's out there for them, but more importantly, to have their own background music.
I feel like we need to just finish that with Elfman. Da, da, na, 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 na.
What I really would have liked to have done is do it like the real Batman and just said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Yep.
All right. So our next group of reading is going to be from House of the Dragon.
Woo!
It is.
Oh, yeah, that must be me.
Scene 1. Allison Hightower, played by Emi, as Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra Targaryen, played by Nika, as Olga Pataki from Hey Arnold.
You want him to have a son?
I want to fly with you on dragonback, see the great wonders across the narrow sea, and eat only cake.
I'm being serious.
I never jest about cake.
And
Seriously, yeah, and scene.
And scene. Scene 2, Rhaenyra Targaryen, played by Nika, as Olga Pataki from Hey Arnold. Sir Kristen Cole, played by Emi, as Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
My father trying to sell me off to Jason Lannister. Was I named heir to the Iron Throne so that I might only further raise the standing of a Lord of Casterly Rock?
You want me to kill him?
Yes, please.
And scene.
Sometimes it is that simple.
Scene 3. King Viserys, played by Nika, as Styx from Sonic Boom. Rhaenyra Targaryen, played by Emi, as Akane Sawatari from Chainsaw Man.
Your courtship is at an end. You will wed Sir Lenore Valerian, and you will do so without protest.
The son of the sea snake, so I can be a remedy for political headaches.
You are my political headache.
Yeah, well, you deserve it.
And scene. So I have a question for you guys. So our timetable says we're supposed to do a Q&A and then we're going to do Lord of the Rings. Did you guys want to go ahead and do Lord of the Rings and then just open up everything for a Q&A?
Yeah, baby.
All right. Well, let's go to script reading 4 of Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Scene 1. Aragorn, played by Emi, as Columbina Damselette from Genshin Impact. Woo! Gandalf, played by Nika, as Luna Loud from The Loud House. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli have walked through the Fangorn forest. Instead of finding Merry and Pippin, they find the newest white wizard, Gandalf.
And one thing you have not changed, dear friend. You still speak in riddles.
What, dude? In riddles? No, for I was talking aloud to myself. A habit of the old, man. They choose the wisest person present to speak to. The long explanations needed by the young are wearying.
I'm going to go sleep.
All right.
And scene. Scene 2. Samwise Gamgee, played by Nika as Ventress from Star Wars Clone Wars. Frodo Baggins, played by Emi as Miri from Buddy Daddies. Sam and Frodo are walking through the woods as their own adventure splits from the rest of the Fellowship.
I wonder if we'll ever be put into songs or tales.
What?
I wonder if people will ever say, let's hear about Frodo and the ring, and they'll say, yes, that's one of my favorite stories. Frodo was really courageous, wasn't he? Dad? Yes, my boy, the most famousest of hobbits, and that's saying a lot.
You've left out one of the chief characters, Samwise the Brave. I want to hear more about Sam. Frodo wouldn't have gotten far without Sam.
Now, Mr. Frodo, you shouldn't make fun. I was being serious.
So was I. Oh. Now I feel bad. All right. Do you not love me?
Oh, all right, darling, then. Samwise the Brave. ...
Yay.
And scene. So one thing we're going to do before we open up to Q&A for you lovely folks, we're just going to, kind of let you know, please don't ask any of the actors if, what's coming up because, they can't talk about it. So respect
I can.
Respect the NDA.
And I will. I'll spoil everything.
And they also wanted me to preface this Q&A with the question that everybody asks, so we're going to go ahead and get it, out of the way. If you guys would like to let the audience know, how did you get into voice acting?
I was an actor. I started my career in 1987 and was doing film and television and theater and improvisation and all this stuff, and I started to get into voiceovers, and I really, to be blunt, somebody asked if I could do a Bill and Ted. I don't know if you remember Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I was like, yeah, I could do that, and I went in and did a radio spot, and they handed me a check, and I was like, what? For that? Oh, yeah. All eggs going into voiceover basket. I don't have to lose weight. I don't even have to shave. You still have to bathe. Very important. You're in a small booth, sometimes with other people. Very important.
Very important.
But and then about in 1997, I was doing a comedy show, and the opening act was like, hey man, you do a lot of voiceover. You ought to do anime. And I was like, what's anime? Because it was Japanese animation. I'm like, well, no can do, my friend. I don't speak Japanese. Said, well, that's okay because we actually dub it into English. And there happened to be a company in Houston called ADV Films, which is now Sentai Filmworks. And I went in and auditioned, and it was one of the worst auditions I've ever had in my life. But I actually asked to do it again, and they said okay. Anyway, I got a part. My first role was a show called Golden Boy.
You were in Golden Boy? Oh my God, I love Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Good show, very funny.
And I didn't, for a long time, it was just another gig for me. I didn't really understand what was going on. I didn't know, why does everyone have blue spiky hair? I don't understand what this anime thing is. And to be honest with you, it was very niche. So I will tell you how long ago it was. I already did. I said it was 1997. But we used to they would send us copies of the work we did, and they would send it to us on VHS tapes.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, then I started directing and have just, it slowly started working at Funimation. And my first show there was Full Metal Alchemist. And it just started to grow and snowball and snowball. And really, I'm very proud to say that between Funimation or now Crunchyroll in Dallas and Sentai Filmworks, which is actually now part of AMC Networks, and then there's a couple of other studios, but Texas is the heavyweight champion of anime dubbing in the United States. So, when you think of Texas, you think of oil, but now you think of oil and anime. So anyway, I'm just very blessed to be here with these amazing people and be here with you guys. And but it's been a fun road. And what was interesting for me is that I wanted to be a Broadway actor. That's what I really wanted to do. And I can't sing, so that was, and I never went back to New York after seeing this when I was 15. But I never would have dreamed that my acting career would have led me to where I am now. And it's lovely. I wouldn't have changed a thing. It's great. It's a blast. So
Yay.
that's me.
Hello. I guess I kind of had, sort of a similar trajectory. I was a regular actor doing television. I'd moved out to LA, and I thought the trajectory of my life was going to be like Saturday Night Live or Mad TV, all that kind of stuff, because I wanted to. That was what I thought I was going to do. And I had this manager at the time, and she's like, you want to do voiceover? And I was like, voiceover? I don't. She's like, voiceover, like cartoons and commercials and things like that. And I was like, wow, people make a living doing that? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'll definitely try that. And and she's like, there's this auditioning happening next week at Nickelodeon. You want to try for this part? And I was like, yeah. And that was Olga in Hey Arnold. That was the first show I ever did.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, wow, this is so great and fun. And then I realized something about me and my life, and that was that I never had a desire to be famous or have people know who I was. I was always kind of like shy in crowds, and so when I started to do voiceover, I started to realize this is so perfect for me because you can walk on the street and have a regular life and be a normal person. Nobody knows who you are. So just like you, I decided after, I don't know, like 6 years of doing on camera and voiceover that I would just put all my beanies in one basket and just stop doing everything else. Oh, because I was also trying to be a rock star. And then I realized, but then people are gonna have to see you. So I quit that too. And so now it's been, whatever, like close to 30 years or something like that. Yeah, and so anyway, that was my story.
I was chosen by a magical wizard when I was 13 years old, and he said, you too can be a hero, and I was like, oh wow, really? I got my real start as a kid. There was this program in LA that I took that I got to audition in front of a group of agents, and one of those agents picked me up, and I got sent an audition for my first job, which happened to be this show called Ben 10 Hero Generation, which turned out to be Ben 10 Alien Force, and that was my first ever voiceover role. And that's how I got started. That's the story.
I guess I'm the baby of the group. But, yeah, when I was little, I always wanted to do, like, film and stuff, acting, and my parents are like, you're too ugly. It's like...
They said that to you?
Yeah, they did.
Word for word?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I was like...
Does anybody out here think she's ugly? No, right? That's insane.
No, but you know what? You're not ugly at all. You're the exact opposite of that. But your parents were preparing you. This business is riddled with, like, you cannot get hired for a job, anything, any acting job. You cannot get the part for any number of reasons, any one of which, if somebody did that in the corporate world, you could sue them and win. So my point is you have to be very thick-skinned in this business. So, but you are absolutely not what your parents said.
Wow.
Thanks. So yeah, so after that I was like, oh, okay, because I was like 10 years old. So I went into music because, I was like, okay, maybe voiceover. I'm gonna move to Dallas and like start voice acting or go into acting for college. And they were like, we'll disown you. And I'm like, oh. So then I ended up getting, I went into music instead, classical music, and snuck acting classes into my curriculum, and got a master's in performance, piano performance, and then, but I couldn't get a doctorate because it was too expensive, even though I was accepted to the programs because they don't give scholarships. So I was like, what do I do with my life now? And I worked at a hospital. It was awful because the patients would, my surgeon would like disappear off to Italy, and like the next day, and then he would be like, just reschedule all my clinics. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So of course I was the one that all the patients were yelling at.
Oh my God.
And
People are dying, Kim.
Yeah,
Why would he-
right. So, but then I had enough, and I was like, oh, there's a class in Texas for voiceover. I just want to check it out. So I went to take it. I came back to New York. I had them listen to my demo, the teacher, and he was like, oh, I could totally see you working down here. And so I went back up to New York, and I told my husband, I was like, I want to move to Dallas to do voiceover. And he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, let me find a job.
I was really scared he was going to be like, I'll divorce you, you know? Like,
No.
stories.
He wasn't my husband at that point, but he was like, let me find a job. And 4 months later, we had moved to Dallas, and so I sent my demos and I auditioned, and yeah, that's what happened.
Hey, I'm glad. How do your parents feel about it now? Were they like, we were wrong, and look at how successful you are?
The thing is, the hospital job led me to go into the hospital, so now they just want me to be happy.
Ah, yes. How mortality changes things.
All right. And now we're going
How did you get started?
How did I get started? Well, I started going to conventions back in about the 2000s, and being a con goer for so long, I just, met the right people and got the right gigs,
and a wizard came up to you and said,
you are the chosen guest relations.
They did, yeah. I do guest relations. I also host a masquerade for another convention. So
cool. Nice.
That's why they were like, well, you're used to being in front of a crowd. Would you like to moderate this panel? And I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not.
He's
Absolutely.
great. He's a really great dude.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
When he's not at conventions, he's out there saving lives. He works at a hospital. He worked all throughout the pandemic. He is an incredible guy.
I did.
Like,
yeah.
he is a really incredible guy.
He is what my surgeon is not.
And he still has like the patience to be so happy and loving and just all around great, energetic. He loves people and making jokes. He's just a great guy to be around. So
Man.
yeah, glad he's
I had no idea, dude. That's amazing. I mean, this is the first time we've met and everything, but I'm
Hi, I'm Brandon.
honored. Hi, Brandon. Good, I'm John. And I just got to tell you that you are the real hero. I mean,
Yes.
other than the voice actors, you are the real hero.
100%. 100%.
No, that's amazing, dude. That's
100%.
really amazing.
Generally, when I do go to conventions, I was like, and not just with the voice actors, with all of you, I was like, okay, time to go hang out with some, with some heroes, and then I'll go home and be with the real heroes.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
He like
Good
does
on you.
conventions to like take a break from saving lives.
Yeah.
Like that's what he does.
I would like to say, though, I told Zeno this the other day, being in guest relations, probably one of my most favorite things. I love seeing you guys, and I love seeing your reactions to the guests. I love seeing you guys full of joy, nervous to meet the guests, and they are just people like you and me. But I love it when you bring in your things to be signed. Everything has got a story, or you've got a funny piece of mean fan art for them to sign. I love seeing it all, because guest relations is not just keeping the guests happy, but it's keeping you guys happy as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys ready for some Q&A with our actors? All right. Are we going around the room, or are we just having folks line up?
No, if folks can come over here to where I am.
All right.
And line up, and we're gonna just I'll ask your questions as you're in line, and then as you come up, you can each ask your question, and then sit back down. So if folks can line up, we'll get started.
I have a question. No. How are you guys enjoying Lancaster, first off?
Lancaster is amazing.
So cool.
It is a beautiful little town. We went to the Central Market today, and I bought a bunch of pickles. From some Amish folks. I got a pretzel dog. Yeah, and then it rained on us. That was fun.
You're a local now.
I am. The only thing that I don't know is I want to know what the mountains are right outside of our hotel window. Not right outside. Those are buildings. But I mean, way in the back, there's like...
It's Appalachia.
Oh, those are the Appalachians right there? Hooray, hooray. All right, now I know. Thank you. Thank you. Want a water? No, I was kidding.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So John's having a good time. The rest of you guys having?
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is a really nice place. It's really cute. I can see, I have a great view outside my window. I can see the whole city. I want to kind of go explore it at some point. I ordered some cool food yesterday from home of the Philly. The real Philly is what it was called. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, see, I didn't know. Well, maybe I'll do that for lunch. I will say this. The only thing that I'm not used to is that everything seems to close super early.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we were at the restaurant last night in the hotel, and we got in at like 10 o'clock, and they sat us, and they're like, just so you know, it's last call. Last call for what? For alcohol.
Everything.
Anything, yeah, pretty much. You said, and I was like, great. Well, so we ordered a round of drinks, and it took forever to get the drinks. They finally brought them out, and I said, I'll take another round. Just go ahead and in fact, do 2 rounds. And she was like, yeah, we can't do that. It's like, well, then don't close at 10:30. Anyway, but other than that, it's delightful, charming.
Well, that's good to hear. Just so you guys know, I am part of the guest relations staff, so I'm going to be up here on the side making sure you ask your question and keep it moving, because there's a lot of people in line back here. So just please have some consideration for everyone else, and keep it limited to 1 question per person, please. And with that being said, you're up.
Hello. Welcome to Lancaster. My question is for Miss Nika. How did you get into the role for Smeller Bee, and do you relate with her in any way?
Yeah. Well, when I was looking up her famous quote yesterday, which was, I don't have it memorized, darn it. It was reminding me, because it's been so long since I played her. But the quote says everything about her, and basically it was just talking about how she's like, if I feel good about myself, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And that is 100% kind of how I've always lived my life. So that's sort of like the main theme about who she is. And she's kind of like, seemingly shy. I'm not really a shy person, but I'm better like one-on-one than I am in crowds. And she's just sort of like this little, I don't know, she's like this little seemingly kind of cute but really strong person who's kind of finding their way. And so her, I don't know, she's like, a badass, but like in a little cutie. So I think, I relate to that. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so this question's for any of you, but I feel like Emi might be the one best equipped to answer it. I'm trying to get my demo together, and I can't find copy, but I have been a writer for 10 years, and I consider characterization and dialogue to be my strengths. With that in mind, do you think I could get away with writing my own copy for my demo, at least partially?
I mean, a lot of clients actually that have that do demos for people they have you can give the option to just write your own copy.
Oh.
So if you feel that you are equipped for it, and obviously you know your voice, and you know what, and you'll also identify with the copy more if you write it. They give those services where they give you a writer because, like, well, you pay for it, extra for it, and also because a lot of people can't write their own copy. So they have the writer there, but if you can write your own copy and you feel connected to the copy, then absolutely. And then you can, when you're having that meeting with the demo producer, you can also go over the copy together, and then they can give you their feedback to make sure that it is something that so you can put your best foot forward.
All right.
And I will tell you that I make demos. Well, I used to. I don't do it anymore. But when I did, and it's mostly commercial copy. But I would write copy because, you don't want to do, well, in my opinion, you don't want to do a McDonald's commercial and somebody goes, wow, I thought somebody else did that spot. And it just doesn't put your best foot forward. But you can write your own copy. And like Emi just said, what's good about it is you can write stuff that's in your wheelhouse. Don't write stuff that's going to force you to do something that your voice can't do. So.
But also, I think it's important with the demo is to show your range.
Good point.
Because if everything is the same, I mean, you
No,
want to
no,
stay in your
correct,
wheelhouse,
correct.
but if you want to book stuff, you want to show.
But
everything
also
you can do.
range, I would say,
Yeah.
you can show, like, unless you can do a lot of different voices, the most important thing is the acting.
Absolutely.
So it's not about, I can sound like this. I mean, who cares? If you can't act, it's no good. So you want to, when you show range, you not only want to show any kind of vocal depth as far as voices, you want to show like an emotional range too. Is somebody that's really happy, somebody that's really somber, a fight scene or a fun scene or a very touching scene. You know what I mean? That's important.
I get what you mean.
Cool.
You have anything to say, Zeno?
Oh, they said everything. Yeah, I was like, I don't know how else I can contribute. Yeah, you can definitely.
And keep it short.
Yeah, write
Keep
your
it
own
short.
stuff. Your best stuff goes in the front, like 20 to 30 seconds, 15 maybe. But definitely write your own. Or if you can't think of anything, like for my demo, I stole things and then rearranged it so it didn't sound like the thing that I stole it from.
Okay, so like 30 seconds per clip or the entire demo?
No, like I'd say like 15 to 20, because it depends on how many characters you have in your demo.
But I will tell you, a director, like I'm a director as well, so if I'm listening to a demo, which I did this morning, I knew within the first 15 seconds, okay, that person, I can work with that person.
Yeah.
They're
Strong
not
stuff
gonna, and Zeno's absolutely right. Don't save the best for last.
Yeah.
Because they ain't gonna get there.
No.
So, in fact, I didn't even get to the end of this demo. I just knew, like, okay, she's clearly very good. But it's, when they hear it, they're gonna know right away. Like, and you have to understand too, these demos they get people, well, I get hundreds of them. I mean, so it's tough to sift through. So, in addition to that, I would also tell you, don't just make a demo and then go. You have to market yourself.
Oh boy,
So,
that's gonna be hard. But
Should
all
be.
right,
That's your art. You market yourself. No, that should not be hard. Market yourself. Like, you're at the end of the day going to be your own biggest advocate, and you have to in order to like compete against literally everybody else.
the work of the actor is finding the job.
Oh yeah.
The job is the payoff for all the work you've done.
You got this.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right, next step, I'm gonna go hunting for a demo producer. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Hi, this is for Nika. What was your favorite part of Ventress' character arc in Clone Wars?
Did you said the favorite part?
Yeah, like your favorite section of her character
Favorite
development.
section of her? Well, that's a really good question because I love every part of her. But I loved where she was going when they canned the show. Because when she became a bounty hunter, and she sort of started to become this whole human, where you saw this softer side of herself, and I was like, yeah, this is getting good. So I really liked that part. I also always loved it when she kind of was like that, when there was all that sort of like sexual tension between her and you know who. Well, maybe people didn't actually think of it as that.
Say it. Who's you know who? They should have watched the show. Who's you know who? I want to know. Ahsoka?
Maybe I. No, that's funny. Well, no, he's another. The older men. No.
Oh, yeah. I hope she shows up.
But
in,
I shouldn't say that. You hope she shows up in what?
In Ahsoka, in the Ahsoka show.
Oh.
I hope she shows up in the Ahsoka.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny anything.
That's
okay.
usually a good sign.
But so yeah, so I would say that I was really liking where she was going, in terms of becoming some like more human, you know, and then but you never know. Okay, maybe that was that an okay answer? All right.
Great answer.
Hi.
Sup?
This question is for everyone. Back when the pandemic first started and the entire industry had to move to working from home, how long did it take you personally to sort of accept working from home as the new norm? And do you have any funny or interesting stories about setting up things on your end?
I remember watching the news, and when the first case popped up in California, I went straight to Home Depot. I said, I know where this is going, and I need to be able to work. It took me a whole night of crying because I've never built anything that complex before, of hand sawing PVC pipe until my hand saw went dull, and making my booth. And then we had a bunch of engineers in the industry do a lot of like online seminars that were like, you should get this microphone or you should have this interface. And that really helped like set up a home space that I could work out of. But I kind of tried to get ahead of it. And immediately once it started like kind of getting crazy and people started buying up all the toilet paper, I was like, okay, I
Where's
need
the
to.
wood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to like be able to sustain.
You can't use PVC pipe for that.
Right. Not recommended. You can try though. Yeah. Not recommended. But yeah, it took me like a night or two to build it. I literally had work. I had a call back like the week after, so the foot was on the gas.
Yeah, because basically they said, if you want to keep working, you must have your own stuff together, you know. So anyway, I was lucky because I'm married to a contractor. So I said, honey, can you build me a studio on the side of the mountain? And he was like, we'll get in trouble because that's not legal. And I was like, but it's COVID. Nobody's going to notice. So now I have this awesome studio, literally
I did
on
not
the
think the
side
story
of
was going to end with, and then he did it. Like, that's not where I thought that was going to go.
And so now I have a studio on the side of the mountain. So that's what COVID did for me.
That's awesome.
It's so awesome.
Back when the pandemic started, I was still Babby, Emi, and like my career had barely started. So I kind of just played Animal Crossing for months. And was really like, what am I doing now? And then after a bit, Funimation restarted their stuff, and they actually mailed actor kits out to, or like gave actor kits out to the actors that were that had to keep recording. So I had that, and then I was like, but I want to do more. So then I started looking at all of the stuff like Jeff Bezente and those PDFs on what mic to buy and stuff like that, because I was like, okay, if studios in LA are now taking remote work,
yep,
I'm gonna start trying to get in on that. So that's when I went full force, and yeah.
I went to the grocery store and bought a lot of beer.
He said, I'm gonna need this.
And then I went and got some cans of soup and a big ball of twine, because it takes a lot of twine for your can to reach another studio. Then I was told that's really not how we do it, which sucked because I had a lot of twine.
And beer.
And beer. Well, the
Probably
beer by
less
this
at
point
that
was
point,
gone,
yeah.
so it was. Actually, I don't have a home studio. I've never desired to have a home studio. I'm not an engineer. I don't enjoy it.
You don't need to be an engineer.
Well, I didn't know that, but
They
You
made
connect to the studio.
They had us
But I-
self-engineer our sessions with the actor kits on an iPad. Yeah.
Which I loved.
For me,
I don't like that.
in addition to working as a director, because I work at a studio full time, so I had access to a studio anyway. The problem is that we're the competition to Funimation, so I couldn't do a patch from there. But there's another guy, a friend of mine has a studio in Houston, and all he does is remote stuff. And so he's actually kind of the Funimation go-to in Houston. So I was able to go over there, and we would distance and do all that stuff. And then really at Sentai, they did a really good job, in my opinion, of setting up some protocols that we still use today for the most part. So that was kind of a good thing, but just keeping things very safe and whatnot. So it was never really an issue for me. So.
But this is, if you ever wanted to be a voice actor, this is like the best time ever. Because it used to be where you could never do anything remote. So if you didn't live in LA or you didn't live in New York, you could never be a voice actor. Or, obviously Dallas, Texas. But now it doesn't matter where you live. You can get work. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
That's a good point.
and it's not, and you don't have to spend bazillions of dollars to get your studio together. Just have to have a computer and a good mic, and
you can
you're
use
good. And
blankets.
there's a thing called Source Connect, and that's what you use, and it connects you to studios.
It used to be very, very expensive, like with an ISDN line or something like that. It was super expensive, and nobody wanted to spend the money. I mean, if you did it, you had to. That was one thing. But and the good news, bad news. We were talking about this the other night. The good news, bad news is this. The good news is back in the day, it'd be like, how do I get into voice? I want to be a voice actor. It's like, well, then you need you got to leave Lancaster. You got to be in Houston, Dallas, L.A., Vancouver, or New York. One of those places. And but now you don't, like Nika just said.
Yep.
That's the good news. You can do it from anywhere. The bad news is, so can everyone else. So the talent pool has gone from a little stream to an ocean.
Yeah, harder to get a job.
And it's very hard to get a job.
Everybody keeps asking me, how do I do what you do? Don't, because you'll be competition. Then I'm going to have to audition against you, and then you're going to want to take all my jobs.
You still audition.
And it's what Zeno just said, and we were talking about. It's about marketing. It is like you have got to. The key is, if I'm casting a show, and this happens all the time to me, I'll cast a show and I'll get it all cast, and I'm like, great, and I'll turn my budget into the people that book it, and I'll walk into the lobby and I'll see an actor, and I'm like, oh, God, man, I completely forgot about you. It's like, because I hadn't worked with them in a while, or for whatever reason. So you always kind of want to. It's a fine line between being a nag and being on the tip of somebody's tongue, or what I mean, right at the forefront of their head.
Just got to remind them you exist.
They got it, yeah.
Got to remind them you exist.
If they don't know you exist, the chances of you getting hired are zero. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really good
Hey guys,
to hear.
just a quick little break-in. We only have about 30 minutes left in this panel, and we got a lot of folks to get through, so let's try and
Keep it short.
Keep our answers short. I'm rambling on like the idea.
Hello.
What's up?
So, this is my question to the lovely Emi Lo here. So, how did you enjoy your role during Lucy in Cyberpunk Edgerunners? How did you connect with the character Lucy herself?
Well, let's just say I had to record the whole series over 1 week. So it was very immersive, and I basically lived the experience. Last episode was carried over from that week to that Monday, and I had come back from a con. I flew directly to LA from that con, and I had a session at 9 a.m. And if you've seen the show, you know that the last episode is pretty intense. So in that episode particularly, I thought about losing my husband.
Aww.
And I broke down in the booth while acting, so it ended up working out. But I just remember the director was just like, I I know those are real tears. You're giving me like really good. I'm sorry, that was a little bit long, so we need you to do it again. So, but yeah, it was just like very intense, very immersive, and it was just a whole different experience from like doing things weekly, and yeah.
Thank you very much.
Woo! What's up, Hawks?
Yeah, I just broke my mask. That's what's up. I just wanted to ask Hawks and One for All.
All for One.
All for One. It's my number one favorite anime. I should know this.
Never make that mistake
I'm
again.
sorry.
What about
Anyways.
Baby Hawks?
Baby Hawks is
The two of
also
us,
adorable. I just wanted to know, where did you guys pull your motivation for those characters? Like, for example, Hawks has to be, he goes from lighthearted to the super serious character when he has to be, when he's in Endeavor. And then All for One is just this methodical, like, planning ahead of everything. Like, where do you pull that from?
As for Hawks specifically, I kind of just pull it from, I usually try to pull with every character a little bit of myself, right? I think everybody has like a light and a dark side to them. And like understanding Hawks' psychology, I think is incredibly important to understanding why he is the way he is. And I found all that out reading the manga and learning his backstory and things like that. So it really just comes from my own, my own sort of angels and demons. You deal with your own id on a daily basis, and you sometimes have to hide that in front of people, or sometimes the certain people got to see the dark side in you, twice, for example, right? So, yeah, it just comes from my own kind of personal experiences and feelings and emotions.
It's just natural for me. That's how I parent.
Naturally evil and methodical. My character, All for One, he doesn't start off in the show. You don't see him very much. And I would literally go to the studio, be working on other shows at Funimation, and then they go, "Oh, can you come do this character?" And I was like, "Sure." And at first, I'd walk in the booth and we're recording. Excellent. Thank you. And so it took a while for All for One to get going, but once he did, I started to, check out the manga and really started doing a little research on him. But it was like, oh, this guy's really cool. And what I love about him is that he's like this evil guy that sees nothing wrong in what he's doing. This is just what he wants, and he's going to do it no matter what. There's no fallout for him. It's just, no, this is going to happen. And so he's just a lot of fun. He's the exact opposite of what I am. That's why I like doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Could you also say, now it's your turn?
Me?
All for One.
Well, if I said now it's your turn, you'd ask another question. Now it's your turn.
Hello.
Hi.
If All for One's Batman, does that make me Robin? Anyway, that's not my question. My question is, what is the highest and lowest pitched voices you all can do?
The lowest I can go is also the highest I can go.
Thank you, Master. Anyway.
That's funny. I'm trying to think of like lowest and highest. I mean, I guess Asajj is really pretty low, but I do a lot of low characters, or even lower, because I do a lot of video games, So I play a lot of creatures and stuff like in StarCraft, like the Zerg Queen and things like that, where it's like super, and then I'm trying to think. I mean, high pitched. I mean, I guess Olga's pretty high pitched, and I definitely do lots of kids and stuff. So,
or babies,
or Fanboy and Chum Chum. Chum Chum was pretty. Yeah, he was high pitched. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think the highest is like kind of up here, like Remy and Go, and that's probably the highest I can do. And I've even played a couple of babies sometimes. And the lowest is probably like when I did that one guy from Bleach. That's probably the lowest I've done.
Fan favorite character, that one guy from Bleach.
That one guy from Bleach. I'm known. So many fans are like, "Can I get a signature from that one guy from Bleach?" I'm like, we'd be here all day if there's a line for that guy.
So the highest I can go is probably around here. And for some strange reason, I book this range a lot. So, when people hear my natural voice, they get a little confused.
The lowest I can probably do is, yeah, somewhere a little bit deeper, maybe like a little lower than Sawatari, because I do teenage guys sometimes. So, yeah, about here.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. That's a good question.
This was sort of answered in a previous question, but how do you guys sort of come up with the voices? Is there any sort of process you do, or is it just sort of, oh, this guy looks like this, I'll do this kind of voice?
For me, and it's different from ADR and prelay stuff, because prelay, there is no voice to try to do, but I always listen to the Japanese actor, and not to mimic him, but just to try to capture, and a real quick example of that is doing Lord Death from Soul Eater, and I was doing Crocodile at the time, and you know, doing a lot of characters that were big heavies, you know, and they said, hey, I want you to audition for this thing called Soul Eater, and I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but that's fine. And they said, and your character's name is Lord Death, and I was like, of course it is. I'm Lord Death. So when I went in, I auditioned like that, and the director was like, oh, no, listen to what the Japanese does, or did. And so I do. Listen what, never mind. Anyway, so I listened to it, and I was like, oh, he's way up here like this. Okay, so. So that's for me is a first thing to go to and listen to what they did, because in the ADR world, I mean, we're dubbing it into English, and it would be, to me, it would be kind of a dishonor to do it completely different than the original actor the way they did it. So that's just me, though.
Yeah, they usually, I mean, I don't do much anime, but in the other stuff, they usually give you a picture, and then somehow, miraculously, from the universe, you are delivered a voice.
That's usually how that goes, yeah. No,
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't give you a picture, and you have to make it up on the spot.
Right.
Which I don't like. That's been a trend. They don't give you a picture, and I hate it.
No, but they do give you, like, references to, like, other people that they might kind of sound like. Or
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
like
you
a
ever
big description.
you ever get this, like give you kind of a blah like, and you're like, okay, I got it, and then you do it, and you audition, and you didn't get the part, and the feedback is you sounded too much like that
Like the guy we referenced.
But that's what you told me to sound like.
I love it when they're like, we want a guy that sounds kind of like Zeno Robinson,
Yeah,
and then
but they
I'll
don't-
audition, and they don't give me the part. Like,
Dude.
why did you use me as a reference?
Before I got into anime, I was doing a lot of commercial work, and I had, knock on wood, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I'd really made a name for myself and was hardworking because of all the marketing I was doing. That's, again, marketing. But my agent called me one day and goes, so you're going to like this. We just got a call from McCann Erickson, and they want a John Swasey type. And they said, well, you know, we have John Swasey on our roster. No, we just want a John Swasey type.
We want him, but not him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's always nice meeting voice actors in person, because as a kid, when I was watching Hey Arnold or Dragon Ball, I had no idea you guys existed. Oh, shout out to John for Dodoria and the Cell Games announcer.
Yes, agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah, my question was kind of leaning to what Nika was talking about before on how liberating it can be to voice act. Like, you can probably get away with stuff that you could never get away with in public, like screaming at the top of your lungs, doing a wacky voice. And now you can work from home. I mean, you can work in your underwear if you wanted to.
Totally.
Yep.
So, that made me think of just something that's really interesting for me, because I never felt comfortable on camera, even though I was an actor. So when I do TV and stuff, I always hated that the camera was in my face, or I didn't know what to do, or I didn't know what to do with my body, or I didn't know. So being a voice actor, it's like, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I get like super physical when I'm doing it. I mean, you got to keep your mouth on the thing. But I'm just like, if you saw me, if you were actually filming me, it looked like I'm on crack. You know, it's like,
that's exactly what I mean.
How, like, for a lot of prelay, the clients want to, the directors and stuff, they want you on Zoom.
and then it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
like,
Sometimes I'll be like, turn the camera on, say hello, and then I'm like, I'm gonna work now, and I turn it off.
yeah, and like I had like this one session with where they sent me like a lavalier mic or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I had like a cat like headband thing to keep it on, like one of those like that you use for like washing your face or makeup. And then so like I looked like a Moogle because of the little thing like going over here.
So
and I was
cute.
like, I look absolutely ridiculous right now, but like luckily they can't tell that I don't have pants on.
But you know what? Yeah, and I totally agree with you on the get physical. If you have a problem with that, I mean, because if you're in the studio, there is no camera to turn on or off.
Right.
You're in a studio and there's a big window. But you have to let yourself be free enough to look like an idiot. Because, you know, if you walk in a studio and are going to record like this, it ain't going to work.
Nope.
You have to let yourself be free. I mean, first of all, you're closing up your lungs.
Yeah.
But you have to let yourself be free and physical. You know, and on stage or on film, you've got other actors, you've got props, you've got set, you've got costume, you've got all kinds of other elements that are going to help propel your performance. In a studio, you got nothing. So you have to create stuff on your own. You know what I mean? And it's very important.
You don't want to see me recording like all my psychopaths that I play, because man, yeah, you'd probably arrest me.
But that's what I like most about voice acting, the way you can just, like he just said, be free to be an idiot, and it doesn't matter. I think it keeps you guys young, in my opinion.
Let me
Not
tell you-
that I think you're old, but
Let me wrap this up. Being an idiot is the best thing in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Question for Kego. If you were the president of the United States, what would be your first demand?
And capitalism.
I like that answer. Thank you.
That's a very Hawks answer.
Yeah.
Down with the establishment.
Hi there. My question's for Nika.
Hi.
What has your time in the Star Wars fandom been like, and what is your favorite events to go to?
Well, I've been saying this to people lately that I actually, for the last, however many years, have actually not gone to cons. I was always like super shy around crowds. So this literally is the second one that I've gone to. Except for back in the day, I did a couple of Star Wars events, one in Disney World and another one in Texas. And those were amazing. But I just started doing these now, and I'm having such an amazing time, so thank you, everybody. But being in the Star Wars world is unbelievable. It's the most, the fans are so incredible that it's not, I mean, I've been working for, many years, and I've never, ever, ever been part of something that people are so into. I guess the closest thing would be anime, which I've done not much of, but Star Wars fans are like rabid, right? Like unbelievable. So that is the answer to my question. Also, that the people that they've brought in to do, a lot of the voiceover stuff for Star Wars, the Star Wars world, are incredible to work with. So that's, it's been amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, my question's kind of for the table. So how do you guys kind of explore and develop your whole different range of voices, or even those like non-word vocalizations like the growls and just all the guttural stuff?
Well, I'm sorry, I see you said the question was for the table. I thought it would respond to it.
Don't forget to tip the waitress.
Oh my God.
I drank a lot of beer this morning.
That's how he does it. The beer.
Yeah.
The beer.
I think it's a lot of experimentation. A lot of times I'll be handed an audition that I'll have no idea what to do with, and I'll just go with something. And even if the audition doesn't go well, it's like, oh, well, that could have led to something. Let me just practice on that. Like the Remy voice, I didn't know I could do until they cast me for it. That's not. I feel like it's not a conventional way, because a lot of people just practice or they impressions or things and they mix stuff. But that's how I do it.
For me, I watched a lot of being Asian. I've watched a lot of anime and stuff, and played a lot of video games growing up. And I have perfect pitch.
Oh, wow.
So like, whenever I just hear that pitch, I just like I have I don't know. I just automatically can imitate it.
Chosen one.
Yeah.
I
No, but
don't
it's
know.
the universe, right? You connect into this thing,
Yeah.
right?
So like they're like lightning bolts that come out, and then like suddenly like I open my mouth and like it comes. But like it's just I've never really thought
about it.
how
Yeah.
I do the voices. They just
Right,
like,
they just come to you.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, the joke is not a joke about the universe. It's like, whoa, that's what I'm gonna do. But again, it goes back to what you said and the table said, that if you just open yourself up to being a nut job, it comes to you if you let it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is for Zeno, and it's, what is your favorite line that you've said as Hunter and why?
I had a feeling you were going to ask this question. I don't know. I was like, this is a Hunter-related question. It's probably a favorite line. My favorite line as Hunter is when he finally kind of stands up to Bello, said thanks for them, and he's, I kind of forget the exact wording, but he just essentially is like, you know, you've ruined my entire life, but if I sacrifice myself, it's worth it so you don't hurt anyone ever again. And like, I was just like, wow, he's finally standing up for himself. Look at the boy. He's grown so much. Yeah, so that's like my favorite. There he is, the boy. Yeah, but that's my
Okay,
favorite.
thank you.
Thank you.
This question is for Emi Lo. How did you get your role in Genshin Impact as Columbina?
So so I auditioned for it, but when I got the audition, there was no picture or anything. It was like named like something like magical unicorn, and the name was like Poppy Sanma, and so like it was so I auditioned for it, and I was like, oh, this is in my wheelhouse, and so like I sent it, and then like a few weeks later, I got another set of Genshin auditions. And then, and those were really obvious because they had pictures and stuff like that, and then Chinese samples, and then so I read for those. And then a few weeks after that, I got an email from my agent, and they were like, yeah, so the Genshin team wants to schedule you. And I was like, okay. And they were like, yeah, currently it's like, it's a very important NPC is what they had it as like right now. But, and I was like, okay, so is it from my like auditions for the other characters? Like, what is this? And so they go and they're like, so here's your audition for Poppy Sanma. And I was like, what? So that's how that happened.
Thank you.
Hello. This is a question for everyone at the table. I was just wondering, do you have any advice for someone that wants to go into voice acting?
Take acting classes.
Remember that you love it. You got to.
Oh, yeah. I always tell people that if you can see yourself being happier doing anything else, to do that other thing.
No, for real. Like, it will not be worth it if you don't absolutely love it with your heart and soul. Like, over the rejection and
Well,
effort.
there's some truth to that, but I will say, like, I picture myself sitting on a beach with a beer.
Yeah, but
But
like,
that doesn't
can you
pay
make
very
money
well.
for-
So I tried it. I really tried.
But you could get a
I marketed
commercial
myself to
where-
every beach in the world. And all I got was Galveston.
But like, they could pay you to do a commercial where you could be
Be on
drinking
the
the
beach
beer.
with a beer.
Yeah.
I mean,
both worlds.
Snoop Dogg does it. I don't know about that.
But that's the remote world, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You could be recording from the beach
From the beach.
with a beer.
Yeah, that's going to be just sitting there like...
Yeah, can you remove the waves from the background in your in your audio?
Yeah. You got a D-clicker, you got a D-waver.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but acting classes. Just acting class. Focus on the acting, and it will lead you to what you really want.
Factual.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this question is for everyone. What is one role or show that you wish people had seen more?
Link Click. Everybody go watch Link Click right now. Oh my gosh, it's such a good show.
They're married.
Huh?
They're married.
They're married. It's about a couple of guys. They own a time photo studio. They get hired for these jobs to kind of sort of go back in time into the photo and possess someone to do tasks. and it's all about what happens if you like mess up the flow of time and trying to recorrect it. Such a good show.
They're really hot.
They're really hot. They're both hot. I voiced the silver-haired one, which means he's automatically hot. And it's such a fun show. It's a Chinese animated show, and season 2 is coming out, so please go watch the dub of 1. We worked really hard.
These are shows that we're in. I thought you just wanted to, like, Ted Lasso or something.
The Last of Us.
But everyone watches Ted Lasso. For me, I'm in it is in bit parts here and there, but I directed a show called Eminence and Shadow. And it's an isekai show, and it's really awesome. So go get your High Dive subscriptions and stream it, and then email me and let me know what you think.
I'm torn between Toctopus Destiny and Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, but I feel like more people actually have come up to me for talk, so I will say Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
Nice.
Because it is wholesome, but also it's about a Yakuza who he's known like as like a killer and unhinged, out of control, and so like the Yakuza boss is like, I want you to babysit my daughter because I'm busy. And so like it's just about him like learning to be softer and like wholesome and
That's cute.
Shenanigans, and he's also a troll, and he has like a best friend that he likes to bully, and you know, all that fun stuff. So it's really great, and the dub is directed by the same person who did the dub by Link Click.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about that, and I was thinking about things that people had never seen. I was like, I had all these like Fox shows that never came out that would have made me some bank. Damn. But I was like, shows that were actually on. A fan reminded me yesterday of one of my favorite shows that I ever did, which was like such a cute show called Mike, Lou, and Og. That was on back in the day.
You were in Mike, Lou, and Og?
I was Mike.
You were Mike!
Yeah, and I was like, I wish more people said that.
Fangirl.
Yeah. So I was like, Mike, yeah, and that was with Dee Bradley Baker and what's that? Nancy Cartwright, right?
Wow.
Oh, cool.
So that was a great show that, like, you know, died on the vine like
So
2 seasons in. So I guess that's my answer.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey guys, just to let you know, we have just over 5 minutes left, and we've got, I think, 8 people in line, so we're going to try and do a speed round on questions here.
Cool. Okay.
Don't forget the sing-along.
I just want to skip this along and just do the Q&A.
If you want to, sure.
All right, this is a question for everyone. Is there ever been a show,
No.
game,
Sorry.
Heroes of the Storm.
Trying to
or
rapid fire.
story you've just ever kind of been like, I want that role. I'm going to go for that role.
Yes. I don't know how
Yes.
much I should talk about that. Like, I just don't know how professional it is, but 100% there's been like a show where I've been like, I want that, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be on that, and that included a lot of emails.
I auditioned for a show. I got an audition for a show. It was a movie called The Boy and the Beast. And I fell in love with it, and I did a ton of research, and I had already done Summer Wars, but I love Mamoru Hosada's work, and I really, really, really worked hard because I really wanted to get that role, and I did. I was very grateful.
Yeah.
I played Kumatetsu the Beast, but you know, as actors, I mean, we're always like, every role we audition for, we want to get. There's never like, well, I'm going to audition for this, but I sure hope I don't get it.
I've actually had that happen.
I got some beer drinking to do on a beach.
I've had that happen where I was like, I kind of don't want this. And then they give it to me. I was like,
yeah.
it's because I said I didn't want it.
Right.
The universe humbles you in that way.
I just don't read for it if I don't want to.
No, that's true.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Well, I
That's
did my
actually,
job,
that's
right?
probably the best way to get the part. Dear producers, thank you, but no thank you. They'll
There's something
hire
about
you.
that. They'll be like, yeah, let's cast him.
That is the energy I want to bring into my life.
Yeah.
But are you specifically talking about parts that we actually did get?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so I would say, like, for me, I really wanted Asajj, and it took a lot of, like, there were, like, multiple callbacks to get it. And then, you know, they don't really tell you what you're auditioning for, and then you kind of find out, and then you really, really want it. So that was one of them for me. Yeah.
Destiny from Toctopus Destiny. That didn't get a dub when it first came out, but I remember when it first released, I was like following it up to release because it's classical music related, and she's like totally my aesthetic. And I just remember emailing my agent and being like, whoever gets this show, I need to audition. And in the end, Caitlin Glass got the show, and so I read for it. And yeah, she happens to like my work. So.
I can't think of like a lot of the stuff that's like to the point where I'm like gunning for it, I don't get. I think that it only happened once where I remember I really wanted to play Ogun in Fire Force because I loved Soul Eater, and I was too late because I wasn't like into acting when the first step happened with Keelik. So I was like, oh, that was like my favorite, and Fire Force was the closest thing. And so the director was reaching out, and he had reached out for a demo from me. And so I instead of sending in my usual demo, which I didn't think would work, I put together snippets of other things that I had done that was so close to the character that I wanted to play, and sent him that just to ensure that like I was the guy he wanted, and I was. So that was like a lot of effort I put into sending a demo and booking a role that way.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Oh my God, you guys are right there. That's crazy.
Right. Right here. Wow.
Was there ever like a character that you like? It's kind of like the guy in front of me that he was like already on TV and you just watched him and it was like you're like, whoa, that would have been so cool if that was that guy, or I don't know, just from anything.
You mean that if I was that guy like MacGyver, like man, I wish I was MacGyver.
I mean, everyone wishes
I wish
they
I got
were MacGyver.
or you got cast in that role.
Just like yeah,
One that you
if you
didn't
got
get
cast.
cast. Oh, you did get cast.
Yeah, like you never auditioned for it or anything. You just like watched it on TV and you're like, that would have been fun to do. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to know a specific?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Quint. Captain Quint from Jaws. Because I love that movie.
Yeah.
And that speech he gives is so brilliant. I couldn't have done it, so that's why I didn't get it, probably.
I would have liked to have been Nikita in the film Nikita.
Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Looks like it would be so
Tom Holland.
Freaking
Thank you.
fun. Yeah, I got you. That looks like it would be so fun. Or like being Miles in Spider-Verse, I think even more so. Like I was like watching the movie like, that would have been so fun. Oh, I would have done this scene like this.
I would have loved to be in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
That would have, yeah.
I want to fly through the sky.
Yeah, baby.
And wear all those flowy robes and use a
Yeah,
sword.
with the wire.
Yeah.
That would have been so fun.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Are you Junko? Danganronpa?
That's Junko.
Yeah.
From Dang It Ron
Junko
Paul.
Enoshima.
Ron Paul.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm fangirling a little bit right now.
Me
but-
too. You look great.
I was wondering, what is your favorite voice acting memory that you've had?
I remember when I walked in to work on Dragon Ball Super Superhero for the first time, and there was Christopher Sabat, the voice of my childhood, speaking to me in his Christopher Sabat voice. And then I had to do actual scenes with Piccolo, voiced by Christopher Sabat in his Christopher Sabat voice. And then he told me at the end of the movie I had to do the biggest Dragon Ball scream of my entire life. And I went for it because it was the entire culmination of my childhood in this one scream. And then he was like, oh my God, do you want? And I was like, voice hoarse, can I do it again? And he was like, sure, if you want to. But yeah, like, it's just a great memory because he was like, dude, are you okay? I was like, what are you talking about? I've been waiting my entire life to do this. I will do this again. This is the one thing I'll throw my voice out for. Yeah, that's probably in recent memory, one of the greatest voice acting moments of my entire life. Because I was like, oh my God, Piccolo, I'm talking to Piccolo. Cool, really cool.
The greatest moment, this didn't actually happen to me.
Aww.
But it happened to my daughter, who's also an actor, and she's a voice actress and doing some anime. And she was at the studio one day, and Kyle Jones was the director, and they were working on the show. And he said, "Now, Olivia, her name is Olivia Swasey." And I said, "Olivia," he goes, "Olivia, in this scene, this guy's hitting on you, and it's kind of a sexual tension-filled scene, and there's some, it's not hentai or anything like that, but it's charged." And she's like, "Okay, that's cool. I'm an actor. I got it." And so they previewed it. You preview the scene first, and she's listening and watching the scene, and she's kind of like,
they start to kiss and do all this stuff, and then she's like, okay, well, why do I know that voice?
Oh, no.
Oh, my God, that's my dad! No! And she turns, she's like, no! And Kyle, the director, the engineer, just, got him.
Oh my God.
That's a good way to
I love telling that story.
Yeah, that's a good way to end that question.
Yes, you're like, I don't know how to follow.
We can't beat that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is, what was your favorite experience voice acting? Like, what do you like the most about voice acting?
Not being arrested for being a psychopath.
There's that. There's always that. There's this magical thing that happens, especially when you do recordings with an ensemble. I remember my first recording with a show called Marvel's Spider-Man on Disney XD, and it was like a group record. It was like Robbie Damon and like Ben Diskin and all these like people who were much more talented than me, and Robbie starts doing his Spider-Man thing, and immediately I'm transported into the world of Spider-Man. I don't live in Burbank, California anymore. And I think that's, for me, the coolest part about it is kind of getting taken to these imaginary, like, really larger-than-life worlds that you can take yourself to, or other people can take you there. I think that, for me, is, like, one of the
All I
coolest
got
parts.
was Sean Schimmel eating potato chips during our group record.
That's awesome. That's great. You know, it's very immersive.
I think for me, it's just, it just is what Nika was saying earlier. When you're on camera, you know, you got cast because you look a certain way, you fit a certain whatever. But in voiceover, you get to do anything. You can do anything. You don't always get to, but I mean, the opportunities are far greater, you know, than just on camera. So.
Yeah, you get to be anything and anybody, and it doesn't matter.
I can be a
As long as you can fake it well. Yeah.
You were a cat, weren't you?
I was a cat. Yeah, that's what I said.
And it's always fun to order Starbucks or a hamburger in a funny voice.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you.
I love what y'all do.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a question for Zeno Robinson and John Swasey as well. Do you like the media as well as the characters that you voice act, especially this is specifically about Hunter from the Owl House, as well as Gendo Ikari from Evangelion.
Are you talking about like memes?
Can you repeat that? Like me?
Oh, are you talking about like you said? Do we like the media? Like
Yeah, like the where they're from, like the show,
Mhm.
and their character depth.
Oh, okay, yeah. I really love Hunter's character depth. A big thing that I like about the Owl House in general, and playing Hunter, is that in a lot of in recent prelay shows, a lot of them don't have a lot of the complexity and nuances that I think a lot of the prelay shows back in the early 2000s had, especially with following like a storyline and things like that, and characters going through things and trauma and things like that. Like a lot of like prelay I've read for or I see is a lot of like more focused on comedy, which is great. But I do love like more nuanced storytelling, and I think Hunter has that, which is why playing it was such a joy.
Gendo for me, I was not the original Gendo. The original Gendo is a guy named Tristan McCavery, and he did a number of episodes and then just went away. I don't know what happened to him, just vanished. And so they asked me to take the role over. I had to audition for it, and I did. And I did Gendo through all the shows. We went and re-recorded what he had done just for consistency. I did all the movies. And then Netflix did Evangelion. And they recast everybody. That's Ray Chase plays Gendo. And then Amazon brought back the movies and then added a fourth movie. And so they brought back the original cast. So it was just, for me, it was nice. I mean, I love doing the character, but it was really nice to have a completion, and an end. But I play a lot of villains and a lot of dads, and a lot of times it's the same guy. So for me, I'm not a bad dad, just so you know. I'm really not. But anyway, yeah.
You kiss your daughter, but that's,
yeah. No.
Anyway.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong? But I love it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.
Hi.
What's up?
And
we're-
scene.
Yeah, we're overtime, so.
Oh.
The next panel needs some sit-ups, so.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could get one more round of applause for our actors today. John Swasey, Nika Futterman, Zeno Robinson, and Emi Lo. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fun and safe weekend.
That was a more ceremonious ending, right? Last guy was like, we're done.
Okay, bye.